welcome everyone on Kushame. Kushame, as you know, means listen to me in our Gibraltar dialect called the Llanito. And we are very, very privileged and honored to welcome Yossi Sassi, who's going to tell us everything about him, I hope, in 30 minutes. And more importantly, I'm not going to do the full interview. Madame Khouloud Kebali from Morocco directly accepted to give us a hand and question and grill Mr. Yossi Sassi. So let's start immediately. Khouloud, please.
Hi, everyone. Big hi from Casablanca, and we really hope to see you here someday, Yossi, in Casablanca or in another city of Morocco.
J'espère aussi. J'espère.
So, my first question concerns your background, musical background. What brought you to this kind of music? And if there is any 5 influences that you can tell us about, musical influences.
Well, my romance with music began actually a lot before I was born or even conceived the idea of me in the world. My father, David Sassi, is the 4 out of 10 brothers and sisters, and in the house there was a lot of music from Egypt, from Greece, from all around the Mediterranean. So they listen a lot of Farid al-Atrash, Abd al-Wahab, Kulthum, Abd al-Halim Hafiz, and Kazanjidis, and a lot of music from the Balkan and Mediterranean. And this music was part of my childhood, and I grew up into a lot of this Middle Eastern, Mediterranean, and maqamat. So I had a lot of Arabic maqamat, Arabic scales, quarter tones in my upbringing, in my childhood landscape. And also I had a lot of Balkan sort of specific beats, you know, like with 9s and 11s and all kinds of unorthodox, not straight beats, which helps a lot for progressive rock later. And that was my background as a child. Mm-hmm. When I first grabbed the guitar in my adolescence, in my around the age of 13, so I was already hearing some Western music, more rock and roll and classic progressive rock, and a lot of electric guitar music and Iron Maiden, metal, rock influences. I would say top influences are probably its mix of world music and rock, Oriental rock as my sound and my style, my genre. So it's like artists like Omar Farouk Takbilek and Dead Can Dance with their very special music, this duo. And but on the other side, Joe Satriani or Iron Maiden, a lot of classic prog rock bands, including the later prog rock like Dream Theater and things like that. So it's really a mix of a lot of artists from a lot of countries, basically, and very different styles.
Thank you. Jan, I think you had a question.
I was on mute, obviously. Why not? You see, is there a special school you went through in Israel, for example, with all this background, or which you would mention?
Yeah, it's called the School of Life. It's basically I just I'm a student of life. So although I visited more than a few conservatoriums and all kinds of episodes with the different types of music schools, I think that none of them was very significant as much as being able to just be open to musical adventures, musical experiences, being able to tour and travel and play around the world in dozens of countries with the people that really, all that connects them together is just music, the power of music to simply bring people together regardless of politics, race, color, nature. So it's very, this was the more enriching place to learn music actually from, but no specific like official
I heard that.
education.
Yeah, I heard it's not only about music. When it comes to you, in one of your TED talk, I think you mentioned that you spent time in the IT world with Microsoft, for example. Would you like to share some more things about it with us?
Yeah, sure. I have two big passions in my in my routine, in my day to day, which is obviously the music, which is the career you are more aware of, and for a long time I also have a career in computers, more around information security and things that have to do with today they call it cyber, but I was lucky enough to be both with when the era of computers began in the late 80s, early 90s, and to be able to do a lot of programming and to know computers very intimately before they became such huge monsters and technology left us behind. And so for me, I've been playing guitar and practicing some computer hacking. Basically, I'm a hacker, so I've been doing that for more than 30 years. And it's two big passions. Sometimes it's like a day job and a night job, but some periods in life I invest a lot more in that, sometimes a bit more in the other. But it's very clear that, and also, like you mentioned, I worked for Microsoft and coded Windows Server support tools, stuff like that. But I think I see those two worlds as very compelling and completing each other, because in the yin yang of life, the music brings me a lot of very pure, raw energies, and to be connected with nature and what really matters, and to be able to converse with people in the universal language that unites us all around the world, which is sound, which is music. And the computers are really bringing some order into somewhat chaotic world of art, which is, it answers some other part of my brain, a bit more logic and a bit more maybe in line. And I think it helped me to be like a bit more serious artist. Maybe part of my success really has to do with this, this embedded also patterns from that other side. I think that the music makes me be a better technologist, and technology helps me be a more, aspiring musician and know where I can go through with that.
I wanted to, and thank you for this great answer, obviously. I wanted to hear that because we are going through the crisis, and we'll come back to this in a few minutes. Sure. And it's so important to hear from an artist that many things can be compatible. We're not just black or white, this or that, and of course many things can bridge. So I'm really grateful for this type of answer, saying, look, actually we all have a different background and we try to combine. I'm not even a musician or journalist, so, and still we are trying to do things together for this beauty, which is the music. Khulud?
Right.
Yeah, I would like to know, I've always seen metal and rock music as very unloved and misunderstood kind of music, because I've lived my own experience here in Morocco in 2003 when a group of mine, friend of mine called Nightmares, it's metal group, were accused of Satanism here in Morocco and put in jail. So we took the streets and asked for a media coverage, huge media coverage, just to let them out of there. And we couldn't believe that we were in the streets for music here in Morocco, so we can get them out of jail. It took us like 2 months to do what you did. And my question for you, how can you describe the view that people have now about metal and rock music? I'm pretty sure you have a lot of fans in the Arab world. Can we say that the view has changed in time, that metal and rock music, it's more understood right now?
Yeah, so I can say that I was privileged enough that when I started playing in general and playing metal, Oriental metal, and eventually leading a genre, creating a new genre in music that I didn't know back then in the late 80s, early 90s, I can say I was privileged and lucky enough when I started Orphaned Land to be in the place where this music was naturally about to come from, meaning the Asia, Arabic world, Middle East. But I was from the pretty much the only democracy in the area. So this really helped. There were like some Muslim republics and stuff, but Israel was fairly, like by the way, Iran was in the 70s. Iran was a huge place for funk music and rock and roll back in the 70s before, you know, the Ayatollah, Khomeini and all this. But, you know, really, there was very good music until today. Here it's in the underground, but still in all those places. But we were lucky enough to be able to have MTV and to be able to have the internet in the 90s. I had when I started to play, we had a good, fairly good recording gear compared to the technology that was there in very early 90s, 30 years ago. And we could have anything we wanted, fax, and to travel abroad. And I could fly and talk with a French label, Holy Records in Lévry-Gargan, Philippe Séverine. And they were the first ones to sign us, to give us a contract based on a tape, a cassette, you know, old school. And really, I feel I was lucky enough. Part of the privilege was to be able to grow in this region and to absorb all the amazing influences, the foods, the smell of Morocco, Egypt, Iraq, and all those different influences and the amazing music that they brought with them from Lebanon, Fairuz, you know, like I said, Abdul Halim Hafez and Kulthum. And so I was very lucky to have this music at home together with, you know, Deep Purple, Iron Maiden, Metallica, all this, Slayer, and to combine all this in this wonderful melting pot. So this unification, along with the fact to be in I think the luckiest place to be on that period in time. And of course, many years later and today now, we see Mirath, my friends in Tunisia, and many other bands all around the area. We see them doing amazing things. And today it's different. I'm very happy to see that metal today is much more accepted, also in teams and countries that in the past you would not associate them immediately with some extreme types of music. So I'm optimistic about that.
Actually, Mirath has played here in Casablanca in a festival, the Boulevard, with Creator and some other big groups. I'm ready to talk about your new experience, Yossi, and the Oriental Rock Orchestra, and about
the Oriental Rock Orchestra,
yeah, and it was funny. I will never put orchestra with rock, you know. We never think about it like this. So maybe José Luis can play the video for us, Maktub.
I noticed the big star in the clip, I have to say. Someone who takes pictures, sings fantastically. I have to name him. His name is Amir Rosanes. I was very, very impressed.
Definitely.
He just stole all the fame. I'm sorry.
You know, we call Amir Chief Vibe Officer, CVO. He steals all the fame, and you know, it's luckily enough we have him to do everything that sets the stage to be able to do a good artistic freedom. Yeah.
So how this idea of bringing people together for this new adventure, I would like to say, the Yossi and the rock orchestra, is this?
Oriental.
Yeah, rock, and the rock. What can you tell us about it?
Well, coming from really few decades of making music with Orphaned Land and with other artists, Marty Friedman and Steve Vai and Ron Bumblefoot Thal and Zahir Zorgati from Mirath. I did a lot of collaborations. And with my solo work in the last 10 years now, I felt always that, also in Orphaned Land, I felt it all the time. I play a lot of stringed instruments, all kinds of traditional music, acoustic instruments like guitars, buzuki, saz, oud, chumbush, charango, ukulele, you know, from Armenia to Bolivia. And I always love this rich sound. I am in love with the layers that you can put inside a track. I mean, I also love the very intimate and very accurate tracks as well, but I always felt that as a person that grew up in the Middle East and was exposed to so many cultures and diversity and you know, food and smells, everywhere you go, it's just amazing not to experience all of that. And like spices in the food, you have to try and mix things even if they don't seem to work together. So the same like cooking, I thought about the Oriental Rock Orchestra should be, because it's 9 musicians. I felt that in the studio, we bring a lot of guest musicians, kanun, you know, like santur and ney, kawala, all kinds of flute, daf, and a lot of percussions, you know, not just darbuka and kanjira. And we have so many instruments. I play alone 17 types of different instruments in the studio. So I felt that there is a big gap between the freedom, the creative freedom I have in the studio as a musical producer and composer and a performing artist, and to the live show. And I wanted to narrow this gap. And I felt that in a world that I went against the trend. So in a world where everybody goes to live shows with all the bands, they come with, you know, a lot of artists today, they come with computers and clicks and metronomes, and the tracks are ready in the computer. And the drummer sits listening to the computer, and the PA throws out sound effects and other instruments that they recorded in the studio but cannot bring the people. I felt that I should bring this extreme, unique sound, live sound experience to the audience. And that's how the Oriental Orchestra was born, as a real attempt to have people experience and feel the music live like I experience in my heart. When I hear the music, I see all the colors, I see all the layers, and I want people to feel that as well, and not from a computer playing that track. So that's how the idea of Oriental Rock Orchestra was born, from this need, this necessity. And today we have 9 people there: kanun, flute, ney. My daughter Danielle Sassi, she also plays in the orchestra, which is a big pleasure. And she's there because she's an amazing musician. It took her a few years to be in that level, and today she's equal among equals. She's doing virtuoso stuff, and she's highly educated, much more than her father. She learns a lot, and she evolves all the time. She's a you know, multi-instrumentalist, international. She was able to perform and play and record before age of 17 abroad. So I'm really happy for her, and she did this all by herself. So for me, it's a very unique experience. It's really bringing the music as it should be. And also on a personal level, you know, working with such amazing musicians, collaborating with them, it's been, and also with my daughter. So it's bringing all this together makes it a really unique experience for me every time.
This is for us extremely interesting. It's material for the Gibraltar World Music Festival. It's completely the music. You described it well enough. I don't have to come back. This and the comparison with the cooking is amazing. Well, although we noticed dolma and the rest on the table of the video, but
exactly,
there was not enough Moroccan food, I have to say. I'm so sad for you guys. But
Amir was in charge. Amir is in charge of the vibe. He's the most important guy on the team.
We said when we spoke about him, he was not on camera. One question. So what's the future of this? I mean, you have a vision. You made it. Okay, it's here now, and we hear this video. I mean, are we going to see and hear more soon?
Bien sûr. Oui, it's you know, we never stop creating, and music is everywhere. Where there is life, there is music, and every day there is new idea. There are new ideas and new concepts. And actually, I'm working on a new album, new material for a set of songs, which we are going to record quite soon, in a few months' time. We are coming back to Black Rock Studios in the island of Santorini in Greece, the same place that we recorded Illusion of Choice, our last album. And this new album will be a continuous momentum of what we started previously 3-4 years ago, even a bit more, I think, by now, with the Oriental Rock Orchestra. And we'll feature, you know, the rich sound and a lot of diversity and virtuosity of the different 9 musicians.
Amongst this diversity that you describe, and I think we all more or less the same type of animals here. That's why we love to hear what you're saying, and you don't just say it, you just do it. As an example, you created from scratch an instrument called the bouzou guitara. I suppose you want to tell us some things about it. We saw a lot of videos on YouTube, by the way. It's all available. So here we are. Yes, please describe and show us what is this.
D'accord. So this instrument is essentially it's an instrument I started developing as an idea around a decade ago, and in 2011 we built the first prototype along with a piano renovation guy, Benjamin Miller, and this was my idea, my sort of crazy invention. I needed, it started from a real necessity. In the live shows, I need to go from bouzouki, essentially the Greek mandolin, you know, Mediterranean. So these two, electric guitar and acoustic guitar or nylon string guitar. And I looked for ways to do it in a professional, high quality way. And I realized I just have to build it. And at the time, I didn't find any examples, nor online, nor in other deep research of very good, high quality combinations of acoustic and electric, and in the same body. And that will be also very comfortable, very high quality sound. And I just had to build it. So we embarked on a journey, and this is today. This is the bouzou guitar Mark II, the second prototype I built. It's basically an embodiment of my musical journey in an instrument. So it features a full-fledged electric guitar. So it's a yeah, you see. So it's also an electric guitar. This thing is also an acoustic guitar, you know, if I want. So, and it's also an amplified electric bouzouki, right? So. So it's really a very comfortable and in a good quality, and in the live shows it makes my life much easier. And essentially, it also comes to show that there is no limit. You know, you just have to dream, and you have to go from the end backwards. You have to reverse engineer your needs. You know, if you can dream it, so like Disney said, you know, you can do it. You just have to think about how it should be, and then think about all those little tiny Sisyphic logistic details in order to bring it to reality.
No, this is absolutely wonderful. But you're clearly a visionary, not only an artist and this IT specialist, and the combination is amazing. I wanted to ask you a question, but I think you, in fact, answered to it. We are in the middle of a crisis, or maybe at the end, we don't really know. How did you live all this month? I mean, precisely by trying to accomplish your vision, or you have maybe some tips as an artist, as you are, to the others?
Well, I think it's always easier said than done. It's maybe sometimes a question of character or experiences or periods in your life, but we should all strive to be a type of make a lemonade out of the melon type of lemonade out of the lemon, right? Or anything sweet you can do from of a melon, sweeter than a melon. The point is you have to be always on the full half of the cup. And you know, in life, every opportunity has problems, and every problem has opportunities. So if your brain is wired to see the bad things in every situation, you will always see the bad things. And if your brain is wired to see the good things in every situation, you will always see the good things. You can practice it. It's all in the head, right? That's where everything happens. That's where we feel. That's where it's all in this electric, amazing machine that we have up there. And you know, this thing is I call it the new normal. We are now in the new normal. But you know, we have to look at it as normal. I think there are some challenges here that psychologically, as humans, we are the only animal on Earth that tries to control everything all the time. It's an illusion, of course. So when you get something like that, that is basically something in the nature, you know, maybe not totally natural, but it's something that is very hard to approach in a totally rational, logic way. So it's of course confusing. So basically our Earth did a restart, you know, like a computer. It just restart in the middle of. So sometimes, you know, where your computer restarts, the browser is not back to the same place, and some files were not saved, and you have to invest some time. It's never copy paste to what you had. So it's the same now, and I think we should find the opportunities in this new reality. I'm sure that these too shall pass. I'm sure that we will be able to live better in this new normal. And for now, you know, all the limits that we have, those little freedoms that we are taken from, these were good times. I think the first time of the COVID-19 was very good for inner reflection, for everybody to be with himself, to think more and to get down from the race of life, you know, on the wheel like the hamster, and think better what he wants for himself, for your family. It was good time to be with the family, to know what is important in life, the people you love, you know, your family, your parents, your children, your wife. It's a very good time to remind it of these little things, even if they seem trivial on the day-to-day, they are not, and we should cherish them. We are lucky. And I think after this period, now it's the time to really be creative and to think about opportunities. For example, I can give you a very quick example. We had in March, we had a show that was sadly had to be canceled because in Israel there was the quarantine, and there were people buying tickets to that show, quite a lot of people. And then it was postponed to April and May, and then the rules changed. So you can be like 20 people outside or 30 people. So just this month, a few weeks ago, what we did is basically we said, okay, we want to give this show to people, but we are only allowed to do like no shows, and we are only allowed to do it in open air. So we basically rented a roof on a rooftop in Tel Aviv, and we invited the people in several batch. You know, we just divided them to groups, smaller groups. So instead of like 150, 200 people coming, we had 40 or 30 each and every time, and we played few sets, and we invited the people to different hours.
Wow.
So we can. So basically, we just played the same show a few times on the same day with the same sound equipment and everything that we brought there. And I can tell you, this was amazing. It was like people really enjoyed it a lot, better than previous shows, because it was like being in a rehearsal or a very intimate, like a personal show, like we come to play for you, specific. And we enjoyed it a lot, me and the band. We are still talking about that. So I think this type of opportunities, they never happen in the old normal. So if we calibrate our mind to the new normal, who knows what the future brings? I just know that we have to be, you know, very creative and vigilant about it, and just you know, think positive.
Would you?
There are always good things around.
Yeah, and again, thank you. It's amazing to hear that, and obviously you're creative and you're a solution. You're a problem solver. Would you, if I push you a little bit more to this,
Yeah.
would you have, and it's not fair maybe as a question, would you have an advice to give to the people who are running the countries when it comes to this culture? Yes, of course, creating new formats in the new normal and trying individually, as you clearly said, the first set of the corona is, okay, who are we? How do we reflect? What can we do? Can we reassess our vision? And how do we go there? Will be the journey? At a higher level now, because Yossi must not be just an artist and an IT specialist and a professor. He must have quite a bigger vision, or part of the bigger vision of how culture should be managed today. I'm pretty sure.
You know, I'm a humble, simple man, and I'm very far from managing this type of organizations. But I would say, you know, partially is something that is out of our control or their control, even the leaders. This very, I call it a marketed virus. This virus sadly comes in a period that globalization, everything is connected. So for better and for worse, we are connected. So when something good happens, we are connected. That's amazing. I can speak to you in Gibraltar, in Morocco, everywhere in the world. That's amazing. But when something less good happens, alas, you know, we have to get the yin yang, the good with the bad. This is the globalization effect. And but leaders, I think this virus is really beginning to mix a lot with politics, and politics is about power and about interests, and these are things that, you know, in the music world and in the nature, that they have there is a basic rhythm to things. You don't force things beyond the, you know, the moderate place of things. You know, you can't force them too hard. And I think today we see the politics of anxiety. Yeah. You know, some people use, they don't want COVID-19 in their shift. It's like, you know, they are to blame that they got this situation when they are a leader. What can you do about that? So there is a lot of pressure and interest and parties and internal and external forces working on countries and governments. But I think they should really begin to realize by now that we have a lot to lose, not in terms of, you know, your basic strategy of going out of this pandemic, you know, in terms of quarantine and flights and stuff like that. I mean, beyond those logistics, we have a lot to lose, not only financially, but also mentally. I think people are really, we don't have time to approach. By now we were just in shock in, you know, the initial couple of quarters, the first 5-6 months were about survival, basically to understand what it is. But now we begin to see there are mental effects to it. You know, there are effects to relationships, to people's anxiety level, to people's health in terms of mental health, depressions, potential breakups, divorce, stuff like that. And people that they don't hear music, they don't consume culture. You know, it's like the pyramid of needs, the Maslow pyramid of needs. So you have a roof and you have the basic stuff, but sooner or later, you know, you will have to bring something to your soul to feel good with yourself and with your existence. And I think it's about time that culture should come back to the table. People were around the world, leaders were really just dealing with closing borders and getting a vaccine hurried. And I think we should also think about the mental health of the world population. This is the time to begin to think about that and to think how we can make concerts happen in a safer way. There are some ideas that I hear and read from different places in the world. Some of them seem a bit more rational to me, some a bit less, but I think this is the time to come with this mindset that people need more than just a safety guidance, but also take care of their heart and soul.
Thank you. We're going to open to questions if there is any. Please feel free just to raise your hand and ask. If there is no question, I'm just going around the panel of people here.
Until comes a question, I will show you where I'm shooting this video. It's my basically my home studio, Jaffa Sound Arts. It's in the old city of Jaffa, and as you can see, it's a very unique place. You see this Arabic structures and the walls. It's a very old building, 400 years ago, almost the basic foundations of this premise. And you know, it went through the Ottomanians that were here, Napoleon when he came to Jaffa, and today us humble people making music inside these walls that saw a lot of history. So it's also very inspiring to create music in a renovated place, basically a very old place with a lot of energies and spirits, but still being able to innovate here.
Did you have like a tour that you put on hold for after the COVID, if there is any after?
Are you simply saying when do we see you in Morocco?
Yeah, actually, I was ready to go to Europe, for example, just to pretend to your concert or show. If there is a tour in Europe, you know, Morocco and Europe, it's very close. But I prefer, actually, I would prefer to see you here in Morocco, and we can make this possible with this huge festival here in Casablanca. This is a festival called The Boulevard, and so many artists from around the world came here in different kind of music: metal, rock, rap, fusion, and I had this huge chance. I've been part of this festival since 1999. I was like a teenager at this time, and this festival continues every year to bring some people from all around the world, and Moroccan people have to have the chance to meet their idols. We had Moonspell, Creator, Mirat, and it was like a dream coming true here in Morocco. So if you are willing to consider to come here in Morocco, I can send all the information to Jan, and he can share them with you, and you can think about it for the years,
Sure.
few coming years.
Well, thank you for the thinking and offering. Thank you very much. And of course, we never say never, especially to opportunities to play and share sounds with people. And let's see what the future brings, near and more distant future. For now, touring opportunities, the way that we used to see them, are something that we still remains to be seen how and when it exactly comes back. And but we never stop making music. Of course, it's all this is all temporary. Whatever evolves from that is the natural evolution that we, as a species and as a planet, we had to evolve to. And you know, this just remains to be seen. But of course, music is supposed to be played everywhere that it's possible. Everywhere there is no nothing blocking it. You know, I don't know, politics or whatever.
Yeah.
Or safety.
Okay, we passed the 30 minutes by far, as you know, but that was planned anyway. If there is no more questions, I would like to thank you so much for your time. It's a complete new thing for me, Yossi Sassi, and I'm so pleased, so pleased, and I'm going to spend a lot of time trying to dig in all the different variety. And I want to thank Amir for bringing the gift to me. I know it's a real gift, so I'm very honored that you took the time for this. The other gift is Khulud, as you know, she's here. Everybody can see. I would like to thank you all for spending the time here on Kushame. We can follow all of this online on our different pages. Obviously, in front of Morocco, you have this little place called Gibraltar, and we might go to Morocco from Gibraltar together with a lot of pleasure.
Merci beaucoup. Shukran. Thank you. Awi. To everybody, you Khulud, and you, of course, Jan, and to Amir that helped organize this, and everybody that joined us online, you know, and Jose Luis that helped us set this up, and Paul and Bar and Boris and Gal, everybody connected. So thank you very much, and let's keep the music, the soul alive.
You are family now, so we have to meet the family. Soon, please God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much.
J'espère. À très bientôt, j'espère.
Avec plaisir.
À bientôt.
Bye bye.